After selecting Gerald McCoy out of Oklahoma and Brian Price out of UCLA, a defensive end would be a great complement to the pair. Adrian Claiborne out of Iowa was selected by the Buccaneers at 20. Adrian Claiborne's an interesting prospect. He was touted by a lot of scouts early on this year. Having had shoulder issues his entire college career that scouts thought would affect him in the pros, they still thought that he had the talent to bring it to the next level. What do you think about him, Josh?
Well, like I said before, the Buccaneers needed an edge rusher. They came out of nowhere, surprised everybody. The one glaring weakness everyone saw was the lack of an edge rusher. I think they have that now in Adrian Claiborne. He's a guy that's never going to stop playing on every single play. Dead plays, he's going to be able to get to the quarterback. I think it's a real solid pick for the Buccaneers.
And the consensus All-American is a very good guy, too. And I think he'll be great for the publicity after the Aqib Talib incident. What's great about him is that he kind of can remind fans of Warren Sapp, a big guy who just never quits.
Another one of the trades in the first round, the Cleveland Browns selected Phil Taylor out of Baylor. Mike, a lot of people were assuming that the Browns were switching to a 4-3 defense, but Phil Taylor is more of a nose tackle for a 3-4 defense. Why do you think they decided to select him here and trade up for him?
It is kind of confusing, Josh. Why get rid of Sean Rogers when you're just going to draft basically a clone of him in the first round of the draft? Taylor has a lot of upside as a defensive tackle, but it's kind of hard to figure out how he works in scheme-wise with the Browns. What will be interesting is to see who is put around him when they switch to the 4-3.
I agree. They could be deciding to go more of a hybrid 3-4-4-3 as opposed to a true 4-3 or 3-4 defense. It'll be interesting to see what players they put around him and how he fits into those kinds of schemes. The Colts decided to get some protection for their legendary, at this point, quarterback Peyton Manning, and they drafted Boston College offensive tackle Anthony Costanzo with the 22nd overall pick.
Totally the right pick for the Colts. Costanzo is a smart guy. He's a smart player. He's the type of guy that Peyton Manning wants around him. He'll be able to protect him, keep him off his back, and able to anchor the offensive line for the next few years.
I agree. Peyton Manning is awesome, but he cannot do it by himself. He's got to have some protection back there to give himself some more time. And I think with Costanzo there, and if he's able to give Peyton Manning some more time to find those receivers like Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark, I think the Colts are set for another deep playoff run.
It's a great move by the Colts to try to prolong Peyton Manning's career by keeping him protected and safe. In a pick that goes against their common practice, the Philadelphia Eagles selected Danny Watkins, offensive guard out of Baylor. The reason why he is kind of out of the norm for the Eagles is they normally send players packing early in their 30s. Danny Watkins, when season comes around, will be 27 years old. Although he is older, he still has been only playing for 4 years.
Agreed. He doesn't have that wear and tear. He's only been playing football for 4 years. Actually taken 4th overall in the Canadian Football League draft. Had that good of seasons at Baylor. But he played all over the line when he was at Baylor. Solid guy. He's got a mean streak about him. The Eagles needed to plug up the interior right side of that offensive line, and this pick did the job. Whether it's the right pick or not, it did the job for what they needed.
And with fill-in right guards like Max Jean-Gillis and Nick Cole, Watkins can serve as an immediate upgrade for them. The volunteer firefighter that Danny Watkins is, you'll know that he is ready to play and lead. He's ready to put everything on the line when he plays, and is a rough blocker. So we'll see how he does for LaShawn McCoy, but the prospects of the older Danny Watkins look good.
With the 24th overall pick, the defensive line of the Saints just got a little bit tougher, selecting Cameron Jordan, the defensive end out of the University of California. Mike, do you think he fits the New Orleans Saints system? Many considered him to be more of a 5 technique.
Right. Well, he has the ability to put a hand down and play defensive end in a 4-3. as he is a great pass rusher. What's exciting about Jordan is that he's young and comes from a football background, with his dad being a former NFL player. He has a great sense of getting to the quarterback. He knows where he is on the field at all times. Jordan could be the best defensive end in this class.
I agree. He actually reminds me a little bit of current defensive end for the Saints, Will Smith. Kind of a bigger guy, but can get to the quarterback using his power. I think he'd be a great replacement for Smith, who's getting up there in age.
And if he doesn't replace Smith, he can replace Alex Brown, who's been seen as a marginal starter at best over the last few years. At 25, the Seattle Seahawks raised some eyebrows with the selection of James Carpenter, the offensive tackle out of Alabama. While Alabama ran wild in the first round of this draft, Carpenter seemed to be more of a mid-round pick, if you will. What do you think about this, Josh?
Well, I think we had him rated as a third-round pick at best before this draft started, and Pete Carroll must know something we don't about this guy. He's got the size, 6'4", 320, but I mean, there wasn't a lot to be shown for this guy. Warrant first-round talent or even second-round talent. I don't get it.
Personally, with Gabe Karimi on still available in this draft, I don't know how you reach for a guy like Carpenter. While he comes from a great program and has won a national championship, it's still kind of hard to believe that a guy like Carpenter could be taken higher than Karimi or even Derek Sherrod.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe Pete Carroll knows something we don't, like I said, but right now I just don't get this pick.
They said that they wanted to work on this offseason on the offensive line, and hopefully Carpenter's a step in the right direction.
The Kansas City receiving core just got a lot bigger with the 26th pick in the first round, selecting Jonathan Baldwin, the wide receiver out of Pittsburgh. Mike, I know you really like this guy.
Oh, wow. Size, speed, he can find the ball wherever you throw it. I've seen him be overthrown numerous times and still make the catch. He'll be a great guy for the red zone for this team, while Dwayne Bowe has been able to take advantage of Matt Castle's ability to throw the ball. Baldwin can take the offense to a new level, doing jump balls and beating players that are smaller than he is. What do you think of him, Josh?
Well, I think that he is a great addition to the Kansas City Chiefs. I like this pick a lot. When they traded for Matt Castle, they said that they were going to do everything they could to get him weapons and put him in a position to be successful. This definitely puts them in a position to be very successful, and the Kansas City Chiefs will not be a fluke from last year and will make the playoffs again, I think.
And while the Chiefs run a very similar offense to the Patriots, Baldwin can serve as kind of like a poor man's Randy Moss over the next few years of his career. He'll be able to help out Dwayne Bowe in going from being double teamed to possibly singled out and helping him score as well.